make sure you have the names of all those people. So if there's any problems you have, they've all promised to cure for you too. I would like to take this time to thank you for allowing me to be here with you today. I stand in amazement at your family, the history, the heritage. Your grandfather was born just 50 yards from here. Your grandfather passed away on this property. It's like the whole circle of life. And as far as your dad knows, this is the first marriage that has been held on this property. And I was also talking to your dad last night, who just said how he just wants to continue to make this property a haven for his family. What a history, what a heritage, and what an honor it is to be a part of your family's celebration and of your celebration together. So thank you so much. All of us are here to celebrate with you. We are here to support you today and throughout the years of your marriage. Be reminded of that often, that no matter what life throws your way, friends, family, but most importantly, God, are there for encouragement, support, and guidance. In a healthy marriage, there is a total commitment of two people to each other. It is a commitment in which there is no holding back of anything. Within the marriage, there is a pledge of mutual fidelity. It is a partnership of mutual subordination. Today, you're making a twofold covenant, one to each other, but also to God, that He may fulfill His purpose, both in you and through you. An achievement of that purpose will require an appreciation of each other's strengths, an adaptability to each other's faults, an unfailing devotion to each other's welfare and development. A great marriage is not when the perfect couple comes together. It's when two people come together and acknowledge their differences and work to make their relationship grow. There must be on your part a united consent to the purpose of God as He reveals to you by His Word and by His Spirit. There needs to be an acceptance by faith of all the challenges that are before you, that He will help you overcome. And this will happen if you never forget that you're the object of Christ's love and grace and should be valued accordingly. Esteem each other as God's gift to each other for mutual support, love, and comfort and joy. If you remember that Stephen is God's gift to you, and to cherish him as that, and if you can remember that Becky is God's gift to you, and always treat her as that, 99% of all problems will be eradicated. It is my prayer that the hunger and love, growth and the love that you have for each other will grow stronger each day. And that will happen if you remember that the marriage relationship is in reality a school. Just as you're going back to school to learn something, you take the best of your family, and you bring it together, and you learn, and you grow, and you recognize each day it's an opportunity to go to school to learn more about love and marriage and family. You two already enjoy a deep, fulfilling love. And on that journey ahead of you, you can grow even richer in that love. So as you go from here, I want to leave you with just a few simple thoughts that hopefully will be an encouragement. For a marriage begins with a promise. A man and a woman stand in a church, a chapel, a platform, a backyard, a field, before witnesses and before God. And they make a vow, they make a promise. They give their word, a promise offered, a promise received, a promise witnessed, a promise kept. That's where marriage begins. That's what makes a marriage a marriage. It does not start with feelings. It doesn't start with love. A marriage does not begin with physical intimacy or when emotional needs start being met. Marriage doesn't begin with a couple moving in together. Marriage begins with a vow, a promise. And the time frame that this promise involves is staggering. A man and a woman stand up in front of each other before witnesses of God and say, I promise this to you as long as, not as long as it's expedient, not as long as you make me feel good, not as long as you make me happy, not as long as things are going well, but as long as we shall live. The reason that a wedding vow is such a moving and wonderful and frightening thing is because it's a lifetime deal. It's a no matter what happens promise. It's about as close as any two people can get to the kind of love that God gives us when he sent his son and said, I love you unconditionally forever. A man and woman stand before each other and give their word that here in this world, there is so much change, uncertainty, and unpredictability, and undependability. There's not one little oasis of uncertainty. There's one unalterable truth that you can bet your heart on. For better or for worse, for richer or for poor, for sickness or health, you can count on this promise. I give you my word this day. This is my solemn vow. So despite all of its trappings, the marriage ceremony comes down to one thing, the vow. As time goes on, that vow can be eroded away if both partners are not committed to making the marriage work. So I'd like to just leave you with 6 phrases that I share with every couple that I marry. 6 little phrases. You remember those phrases, and they help eliminate the differences. The first phrase has 6 words. Unfortunately, this is going to be real important. Please forgive me. I was wrong. Conflict is inevitable, but resentment is optional. The scripture tells us to go to bed every night with no anger. So settle your accounts every night so that you can wake up each morning with a fresh love. The second phrase has 5 words. How can I help you? That's what marriage really means. It's helping one another to reach each other's full potential. The third phrase has 4 words. What would you like? Now, it's no longer, this is what I want, but what would you like? By meeting each other's likes, you can find fulfillment in each other. The fourth phrase has 3 words. I love you. A successful marriage requires falling in love many times, but always with the same person. Never get tired of saying the words, I love you, either by verbally or by actions. We never get tired of hearing it. The fifth phrase has 2 words. Thank you. Thank you. Just be committed to finding the things that you are thankful for on a daily basis for each other. And the last phrase has 1 word. Us. No longer me, no longer you. It's us. God's intent in marriage, that a man shall leave his father and mother and be united to his wife, and the 2 shall become one flesh. In a word, you are promising to pursue oneness, a uniquely committed oneness with one another. Oneness of heart, oneness of mind, oneness of spirit, oneness of soul, oneness of knowing each other. And oneness of serving each other, oneness of mutual submission. The 2 shall become one. It's no longer me or you, it is us. And most important for both of you, do not, and I repeat, do not. And if I find out you did it, do not expect perfection from one another. Perfection belongs to God and God alone. Minimize each other's weaknesses and praise each other's strengths. Never take for granted each other's love, but always remember that out of all of this world, you have chosen and accepted each other. And finally, don't let anyone or anything come between you. For what God has joined together, let no one put asunder. With these thoughts in mind, exchange your vows and your rings.